Hey, this is Jordan with Team J's Classroom Fun, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Today, I'm sharing some more ideas that are going along with my little series on literacy stations. If you missed any of the past ones, feel free to go back. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that you can see all of the past ones. Today, we'll be focused on talking about a vocabulary station and an informational text or nonfiction station that you could do in your classroom. For past videos, I have covered like an introduction with some of the basics, how to set up stations, management of literacy stations. I've also started sharing ideas on reading station, text station, fluency, reading response, and then today we're focusing on vocab and informational. So if you missed any of those or you wanted to go back and see some of them, again, check out the playlist on my YouTube page. Today, the first one we're going to talk about is a vocabulary station. Now, I'm going to start this with a little, I don't know if disclaimer is the right word, but kind of like what I did with the reading response video. Some of these activities and stations might work better with certain grade levels and certain classes. So vocabulary station and informational text, I have used them in second grade with some pretty advanced second graders, but I do feel like both of these lend themselves nicely to the upper elementary grades. And if you teach primary or like K1, 2, and you're like, what about me? You could tweak these to make them work for you. And like I said, some of it too depends on the kids in your class and what their needs are. And if you're like, well, this does not fit what I need, completely fine. I do have future videos where I'll be sharing more things that are geared a little bit more towards the lower grades. So just make sure you stay tuned. So one of the ideas for vocabulary station is you can have the kids create a matching game. And here you can see the little card that goes over the directions. So what they do with this is they're going to be using words and definitions. So this could be from your story of the week. This could be content words. Maybe you're studying something in science or social studies and you guys have some vocabulary you've been going over. You could use these as well. Maybe some math vocabulary. So for this, they're going to create a matching game. So you have index cards. They're going to cut them in half and then they're going to write the word on one half and the definition on the other. And then they get to play the memory game with their cards. They could play it on their own. They could play it with a friend. And then this is also something they can take home and play at home too for some extra practice. Next one, and again, for all of these with vocabulary, feel free to use, I know some of my schools that I've been at, we had like where we had a story of the week and there was set vocabulary with it. Again, it could also go with your content areas as well. So another thing they could do is find synonyms and antonyms for the words. So they could just kind of make a list of what they find. They also could create their own crossword puzzle using the words and the definitions. This is kind of a tricky one, but a fun one for them to do. And this last one's one of my favorites, and I apologize for the blurriness of the picture. This was from a while ago. But another thing they could do is make a vocab flip book. So what I did for this is I took a piece of white paper, I folded it like hot dog style, and then I cut it so there was like 4 boxes. Then what they do on the front, and I'm going to show you a little bit closer up. On the front, they're going to write the words. So like they choose 4 of the words from this list that we're working on. So recycle, carton, dripping, and I want to say it says complicated, I think. It's hard to see that one. It's a little blurry. So these are 4 words from our story. So they picked 4 words that they were going to use, and they put those on the front. Then as they open up the flaps, on the top part of the flap, they actually write the definition, what the word means. And then what you're seeing here on the bottom, they use that word in a sentence, and they have to underline the word they used. Then on the back, they're going to draw a sketch that helps them remember that word as well. So this is another activity you could do with a variety of different vocabulary words from a story or from content that you are teaching. Informational text station or nonfiction station. Again, this is a great one, especially for upper grades. Not saying younger grades couldn't use it, but I know definitely this is one that would fit upper elementary nicely. So for this one, I can read a nonfiction book. Easy, right? I can look for text features in the book and fill out the text feature page. So I know there's tons of different like text feature scavenger hunts. I know we've even made books where we like look for them and they draw out the text features they found. So there's tons of different things you could do with this once you've taught text features like headings and captions, glossaries, things like that, where they can actually go and find them during their station time. Another thing they could do using nonfiction books, and again, this could be a nonfiction book they're reading. Maybe it's one you're working on as a class or one that fits even like a content area that you're working on. When I taught second grade, one of the things that we learned about was the moon. And we learned about the phases of the moon. So maybe I would have some moon books available in that station, and they would be focusing on that. So it's a nice way too to tie in some of the cross-curricular stuff as well. So another thing they could do is write a report about the topic they read about. They could also write 5 new facts that they learned from a book. Oops, I went a little faster than I thought. So those would be some ideas for what they can do for nonfiction. Again, it could be something of their interest. Maybe it's something you guys are working on as a class, but that's another great idea as well. So next time we're going to be talking spelling station, and I know I'm going to get probably some hate for this here. When I say spelling station, it doesn't just necessarily mean it has to be spelling words. Some of the schools I've been at use spelling words. Where I'm at right now, we don't. We do word studying. We're obviously working on phonics. This also could fit into phonics pattern and practicing words they're learning through phonics. So there's a ton of different ways this could be used. So I don't want anyone to be freaked out by the word spelling. I promise you, we're going to go into lots of options that focus on word study as well. Anyways, thank you guys for stopping by today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I will see you next time.